Well, we can tell you someone who may not ask this question when he speaks to Xi Jinping. We don't expect Joe Biden, the US president, to bring up this story tomorrow. He'll talk with the Chinese president virtually. I don't think this is on the agenda, unfortunately. Their first such interaction will take place on Tuesday. They're not calling it a summit, they're calling it just a meeting. And that's called expectation management. A summit sounds grand, you see. A meeting sounds more routine, manageable. So this is a meeting. It begins at 6:30 a.m. IST Tuesday. You see, in diplomacy, terminology is crucial. A summit has a pre-arranged agenda. A meeting, not so much. And I'm sure there is an agenda. They will go with a plan. They just don't want to disclose it. They don't have to disclose it. So they're keeping it vague. Look at the White House statement. It says Joe Biden will virtually meet Xi Jinping to discuss ways to compete responsibly, besides finding ways to work together where their interests align. Like I said, vague. The Chinese Foreign Ministry too has issued a detail-free confirmation of the meeting in a one-sentence statement. This is what it says. The two leaders will meet to exchange views on US-China relations and issues of mutual interest. That's it. Both sides are tight-lipped about what to expect. They've limited the focus to finding common ground, but sources familiar with the negotiations have revealed some interesting details about what could unfold at the meeting. For starters, they will talk about cybersecurity, trade and nuclear non-proliferation, none of which is surprising. What about the issues that they will not talk about? The ones that could potentially derail the meeting. That list is longer, like human rights violations in Tibet, China's choking of Hong Kong, the genocide of Uyghur Muslims in Xinjiang. Reports say that Joe Biden is not expected to raise any of this with Xi Jinping. And even if he does, he will rely on less inflammatory references, which is a pity. What's the point of the conversation if you're going to sidestep the most important subjects, assuming that human rights are important to the Biden administration? And then we have Taiwan. Taiwan, of course, is extremely sensitive. Right now, one of the biggest points of contention between the US and China. Beijing regards Taiwan as a renegade province. China is clear that Taiwan should be reunified with the mainland, and it is prepared to use force if needed. The US, on the other hand, is trying to ensure that democracy prevails in Taiwan. It has even promised to defend Taipei in case of an invasion, a Chinese invasion. So Taiwan will come up in the virtual talks. Chinese officials say Xi Jinping will warn Joe Biden to quote-unquote step back on the Taiwan issue and abide by its long-standing one China policy. The question is, will Biden agree? America considers Taiwan its most useful leverage against Beijing. And this was evident in a recent phone call. This was between the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi over the weekend. Blinken dialed Wang Yi to discuss the upcoming bilateral meeting. And according to the US State Department, during this phone call, Blinken is said to have emphasized, and I'm quoting, the long-standing US interest in peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. He's also said to have expressed concern regarding the PRC, People's Republic of China's continued military, diplomatic and economic pressure against Taiwan. To put it simply, America may not concede on Taiwan and China will not relent. So the presidents will talk. We don't expect a breakthrough. We'll keep you posted on how the conversation goes. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.